Hey, I think a lot of you out there are probably already aware there's going to be a big pro-Second Amendment rally, at least we hope it's going to be big, on November 2nd at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. If you live anywhere in that area, if you're within like a 10-hour drive of that place, please show up at the rally. We need people to show up. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, are you going to go? And I've had to say, no. In fact, I mentioned it in a video yesterday that actually I just posted a few hours ago today, but already been getting a lot of people that are basically mad at me because I said I can't afford to go. Some people that are mad at me, some people that just disappointed, I guess, but a lot of people that are like I'm doing something wrong by not going. The fact is, I just can't afford to go. And I said so in that video. This is October. I got to pay my taxes. I've got a lot of other expenses. Like this month, I had to determine whether I wanted to go to the rally or did I want to keep TYM Triple P rolling and Handguns for Heroes rolling, etc. And I chose the latter, as I said in that other video. So I don't understand why people act like, oh, you obviously don't care about the stuff you talk about, or you obviously just talk the talk and don't walk the walk. I walk the walk whatever I can. I go to things like Gun Rights Policy Conference. I didn't see any of those big channels there. I go to things like SHOT Show, anything I think can really promote awareness, any place I think I can do good. I go to all the rallies locally. I go to town hall meetings. I go up and talk to politicians. I go down to Oregon and talk to politicians. But I can't afford to just jump on a jet plane and fly somewhere. I don't have sponsors. I'm not being sponsored. This group or that group's not saying, hey, here's your ticket and here's your hotel, like a lot of the bigger channels are getting. So I cannot go. Now, would I go? Of course I would go. I would go in a minute if I could afford to go. In fact, I would even try to overcome my fear of public speaking, which I am really bad at public speaking, and I get to where I'm too emotional about it, and it just comes across as a rah, so I'm not good at it, but I would try to overcome that at this rally if I would have been allowed to speak, because I've seen the people that are going to speak, and I'm afraid it's going to become too much of a, hey, let's all take classes and let's all buy product and let's all help the gun industry and blah, blah, blah rally, and not a let's fight for what's best for the Second Amendment rally. I think it's going to become one of those too much like the NRA's previous bullhorns that they've been blowing. And I'm hoping it won't be like that, but I'm starting to be afraid it will be when I start to see a lot of the people that are trying to take control of this thing. Now, I'm not saying in any way that you shouldn't go. I've seen some people say, well, I'm not going if this person's speaking or that person's speaking or this person's in charge. Go no matter who's in charge. Because what matters is when the politicians look out there, how many heads they see. Just because you go and this other person's trying to take control of stuff doesn't mean you got to put up with their bullshit or give them any feedback or payback for doing it. Just fucking ignore them and go and just show up. Like I said, if you live within 10 hours of that place, drive there, be there. Just the people in the states surrounding Washington, D.C. should be able to fill that place. Especially in that part of the country. That's gun-owning territory there. So go. I would go if I could. I just can't. I can't afford it. Like I said, I had to choose between that and my pistol projects. I chose the pistol projects. If I was a sponsored channel, and someone was handing me a first-class ticket and a free hotel room, I'd been there screaming on the podium. But I don't do that. I go out of my way not to do that, and it isn't worth changing my channel just to appear at one rally. I'm just one person. It's not that important that I be there. A lot of people act like, well, I can't believe you're not going. It would be really, someone even said, do a GoFundMe so that you can afford to go. I'm like, dude, that would be so self-centered. That would be so egotistical to start a GoFundMe just so I can be at the rally. Like, I think that it's important enough that I be there, or that I'm important enough that I need to be there, that other people should pay for it. I just don't think that's the case. I think they'll do just fine without me. I do worry about some of the topics, but let's face it, I wouldn't have been speaking even if I was there. I mean, no one ever asked me to speak. For one, I don't like to speak. And two, they never know what I'm going to say. People who book speakers don't like not knowing what they're going to say. So, not going to happen. So, like I said, just because I'm not going doesn't mean I don't care, doesn't mean I don't think it's important, and doesn't mean that I wouldn't be there if I could. It just means I can't afford it. For me, it's not a 10-hour drive even. It's a 3-day drive, or it's a 7-hour flight that costs, $800. So I just can't afford it right now. And I don't understand why people get like you're not an activist because you're not going. True activists often can't afford to get to things unless they're riding around in a van with a bunch of other activists because we don't have the money. We're not being sponsored. If someone's got enough money to show up at everything and they're supposedly an activist, they're probably more a representative than they are an activist. And I know I'm being really rambly here, but here's the thing. If something's close to you, go to it. If you can get to it, go to it. If you can't, don't feel bad because you refuse to go all the way across the country. I don't even ask people that are like, if someone lives in Idaho, I don't say, you better show up at the Oregon rally. No, show up at the Idaho rally. Because I know a lot of people can't afford to drive all the way down to Oregon. So this whole idea that I should leave, I'm as far away from Washington, D.C. as you can possibly be and still be in the country. So it'd be quite a trek for me. And I just, like I said, can't afford it right now, or I would do it. It doesn't mean I don't care, like I said. And it also doesn't mean that I actually, because I would be there, doesn't mean that I'm trusting of all the people that are going to speak and are trying to hone in on running this. I thought the whole point was this wasn't run by anyone or sponsored by anyone, but then I'm seeing a lot of people stand up and be like, yeah, we're holding this rally. I'm like, really? I thought it was supposed to be a grassroots thing. So it doesn't mean I trust those people, but it also means I'm not going to shit in this well. We need to be there. If I could be there, I would. So if you can, then be there. Don't make excuses like, I've got something else to do that day, or it's a 6-hour drive. Those are things that are doable and they're not great expenses. So just get there. If you can, show up. When the politicians look out there, they need to see as many heads as possible, but they don't need to see my head specifically. So it's still something that's going to need to happen, and as many people who can show up as possible need to show up, but those of us that can't shouldn't be shamed. Just like I wouldn't shame you, like I said, for not coming to something in California if you live in New Jersey. So if you're in the area, get there. If you can drive there, get there. If you can fly there and can afford it, get there. Because like I said, we need as many people there as possible, because if this thing goes down and there's just a smattering of people there, well then that's going to be another nail in the coffin of the Second Amendment. Because politicians are going to be like, this is all we got to worry about when we vote anti-gun? So let's not let that happen. Get there if you can, because like I said, we need as many heads there as possible.